So you came from Sri Lanka
Yeah, we just arrived from Sri Lanka yesterday evening.
on a
Yeah.
holiday?
For half holiday,
On a
yeah.
holiday, I see. I'm
Exactly.
told it's a very good place for a holiday.
Oz is a hard place, old, very old place.
I see.
Something very old.
Unusual.
Yeah. And we met a lot of Buddha statues.
Yes. Yes. So during your week there, did any questions arise? Did any questions arise or comments arise about what you wanted to? Not necessarily questions.
The main questions going on. We were talking.
Yes.
Yeah, and the main question going on is everything is predetermined, so we have nothing to do. Is the basic thing, and so my wife says, so nothing has to be done. I do my life the way I want, and I live it totally. And for myself, I have still the thinking
Yeah.
that to be in your teaching changed me by and by. And so I'm doing, for instance, I am an eating person, and in Sri Lanka it happened.
You like to eat.
Yeah,
That I can see.
yeah, everybody can see. But you know, when I was young, I was very skinny. It happens later.
Oh.
Yeah, and
But any particular food in Sri Lanka?
oh, no, we did. I stopped wanting to eat in Sri Lanka.
I'm sorry?
I've stopped wanting to eat in Sri Lanka.
You went
I
to-
didn't eat almost anything in Sri Lanka. Can you see? I just
you lost what, 5 pounds?
you not what?
T'as perdu des kilos?
Oh, maybe not. I don't know. I feel lighter
Yes.
anyway.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It's just the point. For me, you're teaching inside.
How many?
Tell me, I'm
how many
changing by
years
and
now?
by.
How many years now?
Oh,
Dominic?
5 years, more than
5
5
years.
years.
5
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So over a period of 5 years, has there been any distinct change, do you think?
Yeah, you asked many times this
I asked
question
that
to me,
before, yeah.
and
Which your wife has noticed?
is more a question of in daily life it changed
Oh,
material things, but
I'm
more inside.
I'm not concerned with big things.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
concerned with small things in daily life. That's what really counts.
But I have 2 points of view. I have the practical thing, and I can see.
I'm only concerned with practical things.
I mean, my feeling is also very important because I can
Your
see
fe-
less stress in
Yes,
myself.
your feelings are very much a part of practical daily living.
Yes, you're right.
Your feelings
right.
are very much an intrinsic part of your daily living.
You know, sometimes I tell myself, you're hypnotizing me because it's like in my life,
Wait a minute.
everything is a little. There is a.
Dominic,
Yeah.
strictly, I'm dehypnotizing you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say also. You're deconditioned.
I'm dehypnotizing you.
Yeah, you're right. It's like everything is softer, you know. Everything is happening by itself.
Everything is softer, everything is easier.
Easier, exactly.
Realizing that
Even
you
in
are,
pain, even in psychological pain, because I'm very sensitive to
Yes.
psychological pain.
Yes.
I'm somebody very stressed. I'm somebody
Yes.
nervous.
Yes.
And I can really know something is by and by. It's why I say something is changing, but very slowly and slowly. And something is like, in the same time, I am not into pain. It's not that I see the pain
Yeah.
because I have the pain, but at the same time, it's not easy as before. It's not
Yeah.
into it. And I saw a lot of change in my work because
I see.
yeah, I can do, and it's lighter and lighter. I do the same thing, but everything happens in its own time.
Your output and the quality of your output has been increasing without any additional strain on your part. Would that be right?
I don't know if the quality of my work has been increasing, but likeness in myself it's just I'm not.
The physical strain and
Oh yeah,
mental stress is much less.
Much less. But in that main question, now.
Now tell me, forgive me for interfering,
Sure.
but how many people work under you?
Combien t'as de personnes sous ton...
Oh, we work only one person with me and 2 persons outside, so 3 persons. But it's very small. I'm more independent, you know.
I see.
Yeah.
Your work is more personal work.
Yeah, more in taxes, counseling, and it's more
my
mind.
son understands that.
Yeah,
my son is a consultant.
Yeah.
He used to be a chartered accountant from London. You know, he's a very good student. And an Indian firm who got his gold medal in chartered accountant in London, he was looking for someone, you know, they have the chartered 5 years, what do they call them? You have to work under them. Apprentice. Apprentice.
Oh yes.
So he was looking for someone who is capable of a gold medal. So his son-in-law, who is a classmate of my son, his son-in-law said, you take Ramesh Balsekar, he is capable of a gold medal. So he asked us to send him to, instead of some English company, he said, send him to me. So he joined him as an apprentice. They have 3 exams. First is second is the inter, and anyway there are 3 exams. So Shivdas came second in the first exam. He came first in the second exam. And the third exam was the gold medal exam. You see? So his father wrote to me. I was in London at that time. No, I was not in London. I was here. He wrote to me from London. He said, my dear Balsekar, even as a father, you cannot be more interested in Shivdas getting a gold medal, as I am. As the company, as the firm with which he is doing I am more interested in his getting a gold medal. But statistics are against us. He said, statistics are against us. He said, no one has yet get a rank on all 3. And your son has got a rank already in 2. So statistics turned out right. And Shivdas did not get the gold medal, he came second or third. So his work is like that. He is purely alone, maybe one assistant or 2. So that I can understand. But it depends. I don't know if your work includes such a big that you may have. It's not like that.
Many little, just cancelling and taxes and charting and content.
So you are mainly consultant.
Consultant and chartered accountant for
more or less like my son. Yeah.
For a little company. Not company.
So now you were going to tell me. I interrupted you.
I don't remember. No, the main question was about everything is done, and in fact, it's not what we are going to do. Many things, but it's like kind of freedom. I'm more in the passive way. you know,
Yes,
not doing
yes.
things by my nature.
Yeah.
And now I can feel I'm more in an active way. Not so much active, but it changed a little bit like that. I can I can be more in contact with what I want, even in pleasure or in life.
Yeah.
It means that's paradoxical. Maybe I have more ego than before. That's strange, but
Now, what you're saying, I think, is
you know,
you have more interest in life and living
certainly,
than you used to.
yeah, certainly,
You have more
or more
interest
in contact with life.
In interest with life
Yeah.
and what is happening.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
So that means, Dominique, you are less interested in yourself.
Yes.
You are less interested in the ego. Ego is interested in himself. Now you find life is interesting.
Yes.
Life is more interesting. Witnessing life is interesting.
But enacting more, because before was more passing. Always been watching. I have a good watcher, and even for me, from the beginning, everything is beautiful. I can see the
Yes.
beauty of the
Yes.
world over time,
Yeah.
but not being in
I
the world
understand,
so
yeah.
much.
So
And now it's not I'm still passive nature, but it's more contacting really the thing. It's like the thing or the word is becoming more real,
I see.
you know?
Yes. So life as such, living is becoming more interesting
Yes,
than what is happening to Dominic.
yes,
Would it be right?
yes,
You are now more interested in what is happening in life than how life is treating Dominic. Previously, how was life treating me, Dominic? Now you are more interested in what is happening. Isn't that right?
yes. Well,
That means the ego is getting more in the background. You're not now so much interested in the ego and more interested in what is happening in life. Isn't that right?
yeah, my confusion always is if I don't know what ego here is. Dominic is here, but I don't know ego. In fact,
Yes.
I can see something is.
Yeah.
I
Now-
can handle.
Now what we are talking about, I'm sorry, your name,
Chantal.
Shanti,
Susan, something like
Shanti, you can say.
Yes, Shanti. All right, Shanti. What is your experience over the change in your husband over the last 5 years? Has there been any change, you think?
Well, for me, it seems that. Sorry.
Ah, yes, sir. How long have you been married?
20.
20 years.
20 years. So, have you seen any change, not only in his way of living by himself, in his relationship to you, and more his relationship to others?
There are changes because at the big, well, I think he was a person who was very stressed and very scared.
No, yes. Now, more
And
important, is he a person who is outgoing, many friends, or is he
No,
sort of mean, not so outgoing?
In between.
I see.
In between.
Neither one nor the other.
No, not too many friends, but he would have friends.
I understand, yes.
And well, he changed because when I knew him, it seems that he was having
Full of stress?
yes,
Full of stress?
yeah,
I see.
and he was very
Critical of the people?
not. It was more for himself and for us. It was very difficult, and sometimes he would have comment on dit colère?
Anger.
He would
Yeah.
have a lot of anger and things
Yeah.
like that, because I suppose he would, at the beginning he wouldn't say nothing, and then suddenly it would jump
Exactly,
over
yeah.
him, so he couldn't, you know.
Because the other person did something which he thought shouldn't have done.
Yeah,
Being critical about the other,
a
more
lot.
judgmental. Now he is not so judgmental.
Well, he is less.
Yeah.
Because it's in his blood. You
That
know.
is correct. That is the point.
Yeah,
Quite correct.
yeah.
It
And
is-
he has a conditioning that they, in their family, they go like that. It's the way they
Yeah.
were brought
But
up.
now, is there a difference there, do you think?
Well, he keeps his anger,
No,
but
I'll tell you what the difference is.
he
Difference.
doesn't put it on me.
No,
keeps it for himself.
the difference is the first thing that you mentioned is a biological reaction. You say it is nature. Critical of somebody is doing something, is critical by nature. But the point is as soon as he now realizes that it is more nature than Brahminic, and therefore he identifies less and less with that, with the result, what does it matter? Who cares? He got angry, who cares? He got angry, that will arise, because that's your nature. Promptly the understanding says, who cares? That is as it should be. Is that what is happening?
Yes, and especially even for both of us, because when he got angry, I used to be very afraid, and I just wanted to run away,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to stay with him at all. Now I don't care; he can get angry, and
Ah,
I don't.
That is the point. That is
It's his problem, and
That
I-
he got angry. He himself now realizes it. What's the who cares?
Yeah,
So therefore you also say who cares?
yeah. So that's the most
To that extent, life has become easier.
yeah.
Life has become easier.
Yes, really.
Now, do you know, I've been thinking, what makes a person really unhappy? What makes a man really unhappy? You'll be astonished if you think about it. Without thinking, the me, the ego, forgets that he is meant only for this life. He forgets that he is meant, the ego is meant only for this life. Why? Because his very nature is the self. Each individual, Dominic, is an individual body, mind, three-dimensional object, but connected to the source. Therefore, being connected to the source, you cannot but feel that there is an eternity behind you. I'm three-dimensional object, but I'm connected to the source. So being aware, naturally aware that you are being connected to the source, every ego can't stop thinking in terms of eternity. Therefore, I've thought a lot about it. See how true it is. One of the things that makes the human being more unhappy, most unhappy, is what is going to happen to me after death. Something which makes the human being unhappy to a large extent is the thought, what is going to happen to me after death? After death the body will die. But what is going to happen to me? And there are plenty of people to frighten you. plenty of people to frighten you, saying, your karma, it will help you life after life, not just life after life, your karma. Be careful about what you do, be careful about what you don't. See what I mean? So the natural feeling of what is going to happen to me, am I going to be born again? Am I going to be born again as a dog or a worm or someone below the poverty line? What is going to happen to me after death is something which makes the human being unhappy. And my point is, it is so important to realize that every ego, whether it is a dog or a worm or a human being, is meant only for this one life. Once the body is dead, once the body is cremated or put underground or allowed for the birds to eat, whatever happens to the body, once the body is dead and the last breath has been taken, there is no more same ego. That ego has been dissolved into total consciousness. The impersonal consciousness has identified itself with a particular body, mind, organism and become dominate. Once the body is dead, no more Dominique. Dominique, the identified consciousness, has again become consciousness. If a river flows as a river, but once it joins the ocean, it has become the ocean. The river doesn't have to worry, after I join the, what is going to happen to me? You are not going to be there at all. You have become the ocean. Therefore, it's so important to realize I don't have to worry about what is going to happen to me after the death of this body. I will just not be concerned. See what I mean? It is so important. Why is it so important? It is so important because then, knowing that I am not concerned with any other life, a rebirth, I concentrate on being happy in this life. And being happy in this life, making others happy, makes me happy. See what I mean? That is such an important thing. The human being, is incapable of doing anything. The human being is incapable of doing any karma, good or bad. Whatever happens, which the society considers good or bad, rewards you or punishes you. Reward means pleasure, punishment means pain. Will continue only so long as the body, mind, organism is alive. Once the body is dead, no more Dominic, no more Ramesh, no more individual. If I am totally accepted, then it means so much. No worrying about what is going to happen to somebody which doesn't exist. For me, it is a very, very, very important point, which makes me concentrate on living my life in this life, so that I am happy, so that I can concentrate on being happy. I can concentrate on doing things which make me happy with the understanding that what I think I am doing is not my doing, but a happening brought about by the source through this body-mind organism. As simple as that. With that, there is no strain, there is no stress. You merely witness whatever is happening. And something brought about by the source or energy of consciousness through a particular body-mind organism, according to a divine law, cosmic law. Me, the ego, is there merely as an instrument through which interhuman relationships happen. The basis of life is interhuman relationships. For interhuman relationships to happen, the source of God had to create individual, separate entities with a sense of personal doership and intelligence to ask themselves questions. Just merely two things to keep in mind, just two things. Whatever I seem to be doing, whatever the other seems to be doing, is not something I or he is doing, but is a happening brought about by the source or God. Therefore, I am not responsible to God, nor are you, the other, responsible to God. It is God, the source, who is bringing about whatever is happening through whichever body-mind organism. Therefore, the most important thing is, I cannot commit a sin, you cannot commit a sin, the psychopath cannot commit a sin, the murderer cannot commit a sin. The results of those actions, which the society considers your action, my action, will take the natural course. Reward from the society means pleasure, punishment from the society means pain. And daily living simply means my being forced to do what I feel I should do in a given situation. Accept the pleasure if it happens, enjoy the pleasure. If it results in pain, accept the pain and suffer the pain without condemning anybody. Without condemning anybody. So this is how I live my life. It becomes so simple. I repeat again and again and again. In any situation, what do? I do what I am forced to do by nature. If it is my nature, I make a careful decision about what I want. And I do it. Having done it with the total understanding, I seem to have done what I have done, but it is really not my doing. It is the source functioning through this body-mind organism and brought about whatever was supposed to happen strictly according to God's will, cosmic law. Therefore, whether the society punishes me or rewards me, which results in pleasure or pain, I have no control and I have to accept it. But I cannot commit a sin, and I don't have to fear God. And if I don't have to fear God, nothing stops me from loving God as my Creator. See how simple it is. So next occasion we do the same thing. Another situation, I decide what I want to do, and if my nature is not to be able to make an considered decision, I toss a coin. And do or not do whatever I feel like doing or not doing. Thereafter what happens has never ever been in my control. So I sit back witness whatever is happening, mostly as biological reactions in various body-mind organisms. Nobody is doing anything, not judging anybody as good or bad, not admiring anybody, not condemning anybody. Life becomes simple. But the important point I'm saying here, I must never forget I'm concerned only with this life. Ramesh as an individual entity with a sense of personal doership. The ego is meant only for this body, this life. I'm not concerned with what happens to the world once the body is dead. Therefore, I never ever even think of what is going to happen to Ramesh after I am dead. But the real point is, you can't be dead. What is the real question? What is going to happen to me after I am dead? But the whole point is, you were never born, you will never die. What is created will be destroyed. The body was created, the body is destroyed. And the me, as the ego, will remain only so long as the body is there. Such an important point here. Therefore, never even think what will happen to me after my death. You were never born, you are never going to die. Question doesn't arise. Such an important point. But the masters don't give too much importance to it, do they? On the contrary, they say, you be a good boy, good girl. Otherwise your next birth will suffer. This is such an important point. So in your life, as you both go on, life, you would say, has been much easier between the two of you?
For me, yes. For me, yes.
And you don't think it is so for your wife?
What?
Est-ce que pour moi, tu crois que c'est aussi, ça c'est mieux?
What do you
For,
see?
for Shanti, we're very different. Even not totally different, but we're very different. But in some times it's like we're two pieces. We can't do otherwise to be together.
Yeah.
She's always wants something else, something new, something
Yes.
better, something refreshing, something, yeah.
Yes,
And I'm always satisfied with what I have. I'm not looking for. And I'm so happy just to learn from her more luxury life, more beautiful things, more beautiful everything. I learn from that, and so I take a lot of her.
So the whole point is therefore, there is no stress really in the relationship.
Oh yes, very strange. We were fighting more than when many years ago, and by maybe I stopped, maybe less anger, or less fighting, or more maybe become older
What
and
do you
less
think has been
angry.
happening? What do you think has been happening? What has been happening, Dominic, is that everything that is happening is a biological reaction.
Yes, sure.
You see something, you do something, you see. A biological reaction happens over which you have no control. Therefore, your biological reaction may be different from his biological reaction. But the important thing to realize over a period is, so what? What does it matter? After 20 years being together, whatever has happened, has it mattered?
No.
Nothing matters. You have been thinking, your thinking is different, your doing is different, but life goes on. That is the understanding. Nothing really matters.
No, nothing.
Nothing really matters. As far as my life is concerned, my experience is nothing really matters. And after the life is over, who cares? There is no one to care.
In fact, the marriage is a more spiritual experience because we are always together. So the material thing has to be to keep going. We can see it's happening.
Yes.
We're not doing anything,
But the
and if we're
marriage-
still together, it's because it's happening.
The marriage is an actual proof of the basis of duality in living. Me and the other. Me and the other.
Completely, yeah.
Male and female. Me and the other, male and female, brought together is marriage, which is part of daily living. So the important point always to remember is the other, whether she is my wife or not, is also another three-dimensional object through which the same source is bringing about whatever is supposed to happen, however it affects you. The understanding is she is not the doer. The understanding for the husband is the wife is not the doer. The wife is merely a three-dimensional instrument through which God brings about whatever is supposed to happen. And for the wife to remember that the husband is not the doer of his action. He is also a three-dimensional object through which God brings about whatever is supposed to happen. So if both realize that, then both are inclined to accept what the other seems to be doing without too much trouble. Normally what happens? She is my wife and yet she did that to me. He is my husband. Can you imagine my husband doing this to me? Which is fundamentally not correct. Your husband is not doing anything, you as the wife are not doing anything. Everything that is happening is being brought about by the source functioning through the two different body-mind organisms, expecting the same result to happen. Now whether that result is harmony or disharmony depends on your destiny and your understanding and God's grace.
But I believe that the understanding is can help you a lot.
Indeed.
Because the other things then you can't do. You're not in.
That is the point.
Yeah.
In fact, that is the understanding, Shanti. That is the understanding. Nobody does anything. What is the use of condemning anybody? That is the ultimate understanding. Nobody does anything. What is the use of condemning anybody? And yet, somebody does something and may put you in a situation in which you have to do something. You do it. You do it. And that leads to another situation. Then when that situation happens, you deal with that situation. Life is nothing but a series of situations brought about by happenings through your own body-mind organism and happenings through other body-mind organisms. Therefore, what is life? It is but a series of situations brought about by happenings which God makes through various body-mind organisms. So truly, truly, merely watching this human divine movie, which is already in the can, nobody can change anything. And as in a movie, whatever happens, your body, mind, organism reacts according to your nature, according to your genes and conditioning. Something nice makes you smile, a joke makes you laugh, something, if you are sensitive, something may make you cry, but only at that moment. Only at that moment. Therefore, the understanding makes life so simple. Any questions? If it arises, we'll talk to our friend here. I'll talk to you.
I don't have a question.
No? I will have a question for you. Come, sit here. A lot of questions for you yesterday.
With a lot of discussions.
I'm sorry?
A lot of discussions.
A lot of?
Discussion.
Discussion.
Yes, yes, of course. Yes. That means what was said, she had not totally understood.
There was a lot of discussion about how we are not separated.
Yes. How we are not. So what did you tell her?
I said that
Wait a minute. Separation there is. You simply cannot say there is no separation, because this is a separate three-dimensional object, that is a separate three-dimensional. You and both of you are two separate objects. Therefore separation is there. And unless separation as separate individuals, and body, mind, organism, two objects separate. But even there is a separate entity. I am this and you are that, and you and I are different. What I like, you may not like. What you like, I may not like. Therefore, difference is the very basis of daily living. Daily living is based on interhuman relationships. The basis of daily living is relationship between two human beings. Two human beings, each considering himself or herself a separate entity, doing whatever he or she wants to do. That is the basis of daily living. There is no question that I am free to do whatever I want in any situation. To that extent, in a given situation, your daughter is, her name is
Aurélie.
Aurélie. Same, what part of the world are you from?
It's a bit complicated. We are from Hong Kong, but originally I'm French, and she's half Chinese.
Yes, that's why I asked. So the fact remains that you cannot get away from it. If later you analyze the fact, and you may say, but that means I have no free will. That's another matter. But the fact remains that daily living means every human being in a given situation has to do something or nothing in order to suit herself. In a situation you want something. In order to get that, you decide to do something or not do something. Therefore there is no question that whatever one does is precisely what one wants to do. There is no question. Therefore, there is total free will. Therefore, knowing that whatever you do is based on two factors, your genes and your conditioning. That's what I mean is, whatever one object is based on genes. Parents, grandparents, how far back no one knows. And also the conditioning. I had no control over being born to particular parents. Therefore, I had no control over the genes in this human object, based on which more and more research says whatever I think I do can be traced to some gene over which I had no control. Similarly, I had no control over being born to particular parents in a particular social situation. Upper class, upper middle class, lower middle class, or low class. In which environment this individual entity, me, received its conditioning from day one. Conditioning at home, the way my parents and other relatives behave. Conditioning in that society. Conditioning the way these people in that society, the society in which I live, in the slums or whatever, is another conditioning. Then what the church or this temple tells me, this is good, that is bad. God will punish you and God will reward you. So my point is that any time, whatever one does, decides to do something or not do something, is the individual's decision. But if you analyze it, it is based on two factors over which nobody had any control. So if you analyze it, you realize that it's not your decision because it's based on two factors over which you have no control. But the fact remains that in actual living, it is everybody who is supposed to do or not do anything, for which the society judges our action as our action, and judges it as good or bad according to existing social regulations and legal provisions as good or bad, rewards me or punishes me. Reward from the society means pleasure, punishment means pain. But what the society decides as my action is really not my action, but that is the will of God. I may do one thing, but everybody's experience from time immemorial. I do something or I don't do something. And the result, sometimes what I wanted, sometimes what I did not want, and sometimes beyond expectations. Which of the three happened has never ever been in anyone's control. So the fact of the matter is, I do have free will, but it is based on two factors over which I have no control, but still it's my action. The result is not in my action, one of three things happen. The society judges it as my action. So my reward or punishment, pleasure or pain in the moment, depends on the decision of the society on something with which I have no control at all. Therefore, the entire daily living is a kind of gamble. You never know what the society will decide. At any moment I am free to do what I want, but whether it will bring me pain or pleasure, nobody knows. The very basis of daily living is indecision, uncertainty. But that is how we have to live. So my focal question is, about someone like us, reasonably comfortable in life, and knowing that nothing at all is in my control. I want to be happy in this life. You see? Therefore, what does each of us, someone reasonably comfortable in life, want as happiness? That is what I talk about. So far, any question?
And would you say that the rest of my life is already planned? Like, for example, the source knows the rest of my life.
I'm sorry.
Is the rest of my life already planned?
Yes. Yes, you are absolutely right. Your name is Adi?
Aurélie.
Aurélie, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Whatever is going to happen to any of us, whatever is going to happen to a cockroach in the corner, is already predetermined. Just as a movie is already there, movie is in the can. We are watching the movie frame by frame by frame, but the end of the movie is already there. We can only watch the movie, and wanting to change something is a sure cause for being unhappy. The movie of life is already predetermined. Everything is predetermined, the movie is in the can, and we can only watch whatever is happening to any of us, which has already been. No one can do anything to change anything. That is a fact of life. So in such circumstances, how can I be happy? That is the whole point. And the only answer is, if I do not accept whatever is happening as already decided, and I keep trying to find mistakes, and I keep trying blaming someone or condemning someone, I am unhappy. So all I can do to be happy is to make sure that I am not unhappy. See the joke. All that I can do to be happy is not to do that which will make me unhappy. And what is it that makes me unhappy? Blaming someone, condemning someone for something. So all I have to do in order to be happy is stop condemning anybody for anything. Anything that happens has already happened according to God's will, cosmic law. Therefore, I don't condemn myself for hurting you, and I don't condemn you for hurting me. If earlier I thought I did something to hurt you, now I know that I am incapable of doing anything. I am only a three-dimensional object. Then now I know a happening had to happen according to God's will, cosmic law, through this body, mind, organism, which was supposed to hurt you according to your destiny. But I had nothing to do with it. Similarly, an action happens through you which hurts me. Previously I would say, you hurt me, you are my enemy. Now I know that what has hurt me is a happening which happened to happen through you. You didn't do it. So now, knowing that a happening hurts me, nobody hurts me, there is no question of my hating anybody. There is no question of my condemning anybody for anything. So simply accepting that whatever happens is a happening according to the will of the soul, or according to the cosmic law. Nobody does anything. Nobody has the power to hurt me if it is not my destiny to be hurt. But if it is my destiny to be hurt, any happening through anybody can hurt me. So whom do I condemn? See what I mean? Therefore, if I am able to accept this totally, no human being can do anything. Everything that seems like somebody's action is happening according to God's will, cosmic law. Then I stop being unhappy. And that's the only way I can be happy, is not to be unhappy. Simple, isn't it? But how many people have told you this? They don't tell you this. They you do this, don't do this, and then. But really, the whole situation is so simple. Everybody is concerned only with this life. Therefore, if someone close to you dies, there is really reason to be happy. The ego has reason to be happy, but the biological reaction based on genes and conditioning brings tears to your eyes. But the understanding is that someone has been released of all this unhappiness. But in talking of death, there are two separate things. One is death itself. Death itself is a release. Death is a release from the unhappiness. The other is the process of death. Process of death is an entirely different thing. Process of death is pain. And how much pain, who is going to suffer at the moment of death, has already been predetermined, over which nobody can do anything. Therefore, we know people who have suffered for years from terminal cancer, suffered a tremendous loss. And others haven't suffered at all. A cousin of mine, 29 days younger than I am. 29 days. Mine is 25th May, his birthday is 22nd June. And when he was 18, he went to London to study medicine. And after that, he used to come here, but he stayed there, he lived there. He married an English, lovely, very, very nice English woman. They have a son, very, very nice people. They had a nice small home in the country. So one night, they were watching the TV. And when the show was over, his wife said, "Come darling, let's go to bed." The moment he touched her, he fell off. He was dead. Can anyone have an easier death, lovelier death? Watching movie. And some others have to suffer so much. Even that predetermined. So if there is one line, magic line to keep me happy, it is not to condemn anybody for anything, neither myself nor the other. Everything is happening according to God's will, cosmic law. No human being does anything. Therefore, it is downright stupid to condemn anyone for anything. So accept whatever happens as something which simply had to happen. And then you are not unhappy. You see how simple it is. Any question? Come, don't hesitate. No, she says no. What about you?
As always, no question.
No. But all right, tell me about your own life. What's been happening? Come. Kavita Mukhi Mukherjee, is that right?
That's right.
Kavita Mukhi Mukherjee. You have never had a very slow and easy life, is it?
No. But
You
it's
are
been
always very active. And yet you have been reasonably calm and collected.
no, not really calm and collected. Very angry, very volatile. But within a minute, I'm kind of.
Yeah.
But it's not easy for other people who live with me.
But
Very
why?
difficult.
But don't they also realize that you are angry 1 minute, but suddenly
No, they realize that, but since they, haven't really followed a teaching,
yeah.
they don't really understand it at that deep level. They know that I'll be fine the next minute, but they still have to cope with.
Yes. With
Not easy at all.
with your anger. Yeah.
And I wish I could
Yes.
be more
But
accepting.
even there, hasn't there been any improvement? People who
Unfortunately not.
no.
Just yesterday I was in queue for the British visa and they made us wait for an hour on the street. The travel agent was supposed to be in queue, he came late, so I was in queue for that whole hour and I could have actually been in 10 minutes. Then they say it's another 2 hours inside. Then I had a DVD in my bag, they said no, you're not allowed to take this in. And it's just, I actually just got upset and walked out of there after waiting in queue for an hour. So then after that I thought, now how foolish is that, because I waited an hour. So, but I still find I can't stop myself from, and at that time I feel, oh, I wish I was a little bit enlightened and I maybe would. I find myself thinking, I wish I could just be more, I know it will, I know that it's not.
Yes, but the point is, the most important thing is, whatever happened simply had to happen.
Yes. Then I have lots of guilt.
Simply had
Yeah.
to happen. We remember it because we feel guilty about something. Something nice happened, we quickly forget it.
I find a lot of guilt welling up at the way I brought up my son, things I could have done better. And then your teaching is just so helpful at that point because it's not me.
No, it is your son's
destiny to have.
It's therefore, when people ask me, parents ask, should I or should I not? Basic question, should I or should I not give advice to my children and grandchildren? Important question in life. Should I or should I not give advice to my children and grandchildren? What is the answer? Answer is, in a given situation, you feel that you must give advice for their own good. You want to give advice to your children. By all means do it, but do it with the understanding. Do it with the understanding that what the advice that you want to give to your children and grandchildren is 1 generation or 2 generations old. What you think is good for them is at least 25 years or 50 years old. Therefore, the advice you think is good for the children may not be good for them. 2. Every child, every individual has his own destiny. Whatever advice you give, you cannot change the destiny of that child. Even if the advice you give is bad advice, if their destiny is good, nothing will happen to them. So I said, by all means, give any advice that you want to your children and grandchildren. But if you remember these 2 points, the advice you give may not be good for them. And each child has his own destiny. If you remember these 2 points, as against what? As against, you don't remember these 2 points and you think, I am the mother. I know what's good for you. You damn well do what I tell you to do. That is one attitude. I know what's good for you. Do what you have to do. And don't waste my time. That's one attitude. The other attitude is, I have to do something which I feel compelled to do, which is to give you advice. But if you keep these 2 things in mind, the advice you give may not be the best for them, and they have their own destiny, then what will happen is that the way in which you give the advice, your attitude towards them, and the actual terms and words you use in giving that advice will be such that they will be clearly inclined not to oppose you, but to cooperate with you. See what I mean? So if you keep in mind these 2 things, give whatever advice you want to give, then what will happen is the 2 of you will probably discuss it and come to a very good conclusion. That is the point. But usually what happens is, in giving advice, I am your father or a mother, you damn well do what I... And that attitude usually brings about opposition. No, why should I? Therefore, by all means give advice to you. It is your birthright. But give it in such a way, in such terms, with such attitude, that they will be inclined to cooperate with you. The understanding really has an answer for every question.
Ramesh.
Yes. Michelle, that I remember, Michelle. And you teach yoga?
Yes. About conditioning and...
you teach yoga in Hong Kong?
Yes.
Right?
And I want to say how much it's been helping good for me to come here, because talking about conditioning, about anger, I've got a problem. Every time I step into a taxi, I get angry.
Yeah. No. That is
Well, no, sorry. Yeah. My body, mind organism gets angry.
no.
No.
That is not correct. No one gets angry.
Okay. Yeah.
Michelle.
To use a word.
Michelle. No one gets angry. If my organism gets angry or I get, you mean the same thing.
Anger arises.
Anger arises in a body, mind,
organism.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Big difference.
Absolutely. Thank you.
If anger arises in a body, mind, organism, compassion can also arise in the same body, mind, organism. And the ego has no control over whether compassion will arise, or anger will arise, or fear will arise.
But the funny thing, it arises always in a taxi. It always arises in a taxi.
Yeah, because things happen in a taxi which your eyes see, the ears hear, and the reaction is anger.
Yeah. And then I think about it and I said, Ramesh says, well, it was meant to be, I was meant.
Yes, therefore, what is the point?
That's right.
Therefore, the point, Michelle, is all that let anger arise.
I do. But when I leave the taxi, I laugh.
That's exactly the point.
And I'm saying to myself, how
That is exactly
stupid
the
I
point.
am. You know?
Why stupid, how stupid I was to get involved
Yeah.
in something over which I had no control. How stupid it is to get involved in something over which I had no control.
Yeah.
Supposing I had not got angry and I had seen his point of view and become kind and given him something, I would have felt proud. I am a compassionate, kind and compassionate person.
I had some time a taxi driver stop the taxi and say, get out of it, you know. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
But basically that's what happened.
And then afterwards I walk a few steps and as I said I just laughed about myself. And the interesting thing is now it happens less and less.
That's the point.
You know,
That
as soon as walking, sitting in a taxi,
that is what experience does. As you get more and more experience, the frequency of the involvement and the intensity of the involvement become less and less. The frequency becomes less and less. The intensity becomes less and less. With the result, next time, if anger is about to arise, it may not arise.
It can work the opposite way too. I remember my first time I came here and it happened and I said to myself, well, it's normal to be angry. And I was almost at the beginning, after my first time coming here, I was almost looking for it.
You're waiting to get angry, is it?
Yeah, I was looking for it. Yeah, more or less. Because I thought it was, I think I didn't understand quite, but I was doing the opposite in a way. I was not the, I'm going to say the wrong thing, but I was searching for the anger to arise.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that you could be proud of not being angry.
That's exactly, yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah. Hong Kong, where are your other connections? Which part of the world are your other connections? You live in Hong Kong. You teach
now,
in,
yes.
You teach in Hong Kong.
Well, yeah, I teach in Asia now.
Oh, I see. You move about. I see.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
I see.
Yeah, but I haven't been living in Hong Kong only for 7 years.
I see. But you have students all over Asia.
Yeah, well, yes, I guess so.
I see. And who was your teacher? Iyengar?
I had my Iyengar, BKS Iyengar from Pune.
BKS Iyengar.
Yeah, was my first teacher. And then in Mysore, Pallavi Joyce, Sri Pallavi Joyce.
I'm sorry?
Pallavi Joyce in Mysore.
I see.
Krishnamacharya from the lineage of
I see.
Krishnamacharya.
I see.
Yeah.
And this yoga has done a lot. done some good for you?
I think, yeah, on the physical aspect.
Yeah.
Because
yeah. Physical aspect, there's no question about.
Yeah, and also I was brought up as a Catholic and was forced to go to church and all that sort of thing, which I rejected it. And it's funny because I was born in France, but I've never felt I belonged there. So as soon I got 21, I left.
You left France?
Yeah, I wanted to go at the age of 18, but in those days you're not allowed to.
Yes.
So as soon as I turned 21, I saved some money and I left.
You decided to leave France?
When I was her age, at 10, 11, I never felt comfortable in France.
Are you 10, 11? Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've never felt comfortable there. I was brought up in, my parents died, and I was brought up with my grandparents on the farm, small village in Normandy, and I just wanted to live.
You had a difficult childhood then?
You could say that, yes.
Yeah,
but you know, when you don't know,
you forget it.
Well, you don't know. I mean, yeah. But as I said, as soon as I turned 21, I saved some money. And
so, when did you decide to be a yoga teacher as a profession?
Well, I've always been attracted in yoga.
I'm sorry?
I've always been attracted when I was very young, 17, 18, with books.
So your yoga has been your profession always?
No, but I was reading books about yoga. And I was in England.
I understand, yes. You are not a teacher, but you were concerned with yoga from as early an age as you can imagine.
Maybe 16, 17.
Oh, really?
18.
I see. And you started with the yogasana?
Now, I was in London and I studied yoga. I bought a book on yoga in early age, like I'm talking in a early
So when
60s.
you were learning yoga, where did the money come from?
I was working. And I was studying also.
You were both working and learning.
But I didn't do yoga for a long time. I just did yoga for about 3-4 months, and then I went back to running and judo, all that sort of stuff. Yes.
Judo?
Yeah.
So you're a martial arts?
Well, I did judo when I was young, that's about it. Yeah. And I stayed about a few years in London, and then I came back to France, and then I left France for 8 years afterwards. I haven't been more or less living in France for over 40 years.
I've been doing bodybuilding for a long time, and I've been interested in martial arts. So, you know, my general manager and his assistant general manager, two of them were joking. The Bank of India opened a branch in Japan, and they said, whom shall we send to Japan? So the assistant general manager said, send anybody, but don't send Ramesh, don't send Balsekar. He'll spend most of his time learning martial arts
than working in a bank.
Yes. Yes, please. Hustle. Is that right?
May I tell you briefly the situation?
Please.
I am a filmmaker. And
I'm sorry?
I'm a filmmaker in documentary film.
Yes.
And there's a filmmaker in Sweden who is making a film about heart garriola in Bombay.
Yeah.
And
what in Bombay?
Pardon?
What in Bombay?
This pushcart walla.
Yes.
And he asked me to do some complimentary filming for this. So since I was anyhow going to India, he said, "Why can you please do some complimentary filming for me?" I said, "Yes." So we agreed that I will rent a camera when I come to Mumbai, and he told me he would put some money in my bank account.
Now look, are you talking of this Dabba Walas?
Pardon?
Postcard wala.
Yes.
Not the ones who supply meals. they call them dabawala.
No.
No. Postcard. Whatever is being need to be posted.
Yes.
I see.
So he told me he would put some money in my bank account so that I can rent the camera and pay for people who help me. Suresh is helping me now with this. And this was more than a month ago. And I told him on the 17th.
This was?
More than a month ago, we talked about this in Sweden. And
he didn't put any money.
Still there is no money in my bank account. And I talked to him yesterday. And I said, we have found a guy now. I have to rent the camera, but there's no money in my bank account. No, oh, that is just because I didn't reach my producer yet. And he comes up with many excuses. Yes. And I get upset. And I would really love to do this work. But I feel like if he doesn't put money in my bank account, I'm not going to use my own money for doing this. And this keeps in my mind, spinning.
So you have to make a decision sometime. That is a situation which Husser is facing.
Yes.
That is a situation which Husser is facing.
Yes.
What do I do in this situation?
Yes.
You have to decide.
And the funny thing is that similar situations occur to me regularly. It happens again and again. What I have experienced before in my life is that I have had a tendency to be very, very kind and to use my own money and wait for the money to come later and like this. And at this point, I feel like I'm fed up with this. I don't want to be so kind all the time. And
yes,
like
but
this.
being kind or generous or taking is something you would not have done, would you? But you have been doing it.
Yes.
Therefore, it's a happening.
Yes.
Which had to happen through this body-mind organism.
Yes.
That is its destiny.
Yes.
Therefore, for me, honestly, there is no good quality or bad quality. A good quality in its extreme can be as bad as any bad quality. I know it from personal experience because my son-in-law is a very generous man, but generous to a fault. Generous to a fault. Once what happened was, his wife, my daughter, selected a sari to be used in the evening when she had to go for a particular function. Get it, and whatever goes with it, the blouse and the jewelry or something. So, then she went out. During the day, they have a farm. So on a farm, always someone would come and say, this is wanted, that is wanted. So someone has to stay home. So my son-in-law was home. So he opened the door, he found someone. She wanted something done. So he gave whatever is necessary. Then he said, stop. She was in tatters, her clothes were in tatters. So what does this generous man do? He goes, opens his wife's door, sees the dress there, takes it and gives it to her. The dress which his wife had taken for special that's one thing. Second thing is, same fellow, my daughter used to say, honestly, my husband is not afraid of anything. One day he was a neighbor of his, very angry. And she had a quarrel with him. The neighbor comes at him with a gun. And he just continues to him without anything. So my husband is not afraid of fear, except one thing, and that is cold. He is afraid of getting a cold. He is afraid of catching a cold. So what does this man do? Once it was raining, he was coming home in his car, you see, and it was pouring. So there he found someone going by the side, an old man in tattered clothing, shivering. So what does this generous man do? stops the car, gets out, takes out his jacket, puts it on his shoulder, comes back and drives home and catches a cold. which lasts for a whole week. So any good thing can be a bad thing.
Yes. That is
Can
right.
be a bad thing. But the whole point is, it is not in your control whether to be generous or not generous. That is the point. Not in your control to be generous or not generous. You can only go by the way your genes have created Hosa.
And therefore, that if he decides to be not generous, it will be the same. It's not nothing
He
is in
can't
control.
help it. He can't help it.
Yeah.
That is why Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, you are born a warrior. You are trained to be a warrior. Your conditioning is that of a warrior. Therefore, even if you decide not to fight, you will fight. Your genes and your conditioning will make you fight. Therefore, fight.
What I find uncomfortable now also is my own involvement, that the mind is spinning about this. In the night time when I go to sleep, I'm thinking about this and I'm kind of like arguing with him inside my head like this. And I want to get out of it, and I can see how stupid, why I'm so involved, leave it. But I can't leave it. I'm like trapped.
So that means you're trapped. That means you're in pain.
Yes.
So, and that is what life is all about. Sometimes pleasure, sometimes pain. And maybe what you're saying is your destiny is to have more pain than pleasure. Is that right?
Well,
Your destiny may or may not be. But when and where pain will occur, when and where and why pleasure will happen, not in our control. That is the point.
I'm kind of would like to ask you if you can give me some advice how to get out of my own involvement. Is there anything I can do? I know I'm not a doer.
Yes, and that is
Yes.
to accept totally whatever is at this moment is precisely the way it is supposed to be,
Including my own involvement.
including your involvement, exactly as it is supposed to be in every detail.
Yes. Thank
That
you.
is the whole point.
Yes.
Where whatever is at any moment, whoever is concerned,
Yes.
whatever is at any moment is precisely the way it is supposed to be, according to God's will, or according to cosmic law.
Yeah.
What is the cosmic law? What is the basis of the cosmic law? Cosmic law is something concerned with the entire universe, not with only me or my nation or the world. Entire universe for all time. Something so vast and so complicated, the human brain simply cannot even dare to imagine. Therefore, the only thing we can accept is 4 words in the Bible. Thy will be done. Whatever is at any moment is precisely the way it is supposed to be in every detail. There is nothing anybody can do about it. Therefore, on this basis, supposing there is a murder, what has been the experience of everybody in every nation? Can you imagine? A murder has happened. 4 different results can happen. 4 different results can happen. One, the murder is detected. The murderer confesses. The murderer is condemned in court to die, and he is executed. The human mind says that is how it should be. But life is not like that. What happens? The second thing, the murder is never detected. The case lies with the police, never detected, and all the time the murderer goes scot-free. Third instance, the murder is detected. The murderer, suppose murderer goes taken before the court, and the judge and the jury decide, we know he is the murderer, but not enough valid evidence. Therefore we are forced to let him go. And you know the fourth one?
An innocent man.
The fourth one is what the mind, human brain, an innocent man is wrongly discovered as the murderer. He is executed for a crime he did not commit. Which the human mind simply cannot accept. How can God do this?
Yes.
The answer is, it has to be the way it was, according to the cosmic law. The basis of which is beyond human brain to continue, to accept. Mechanically, it is the ego.
Right. But
But whether it happens or not,
it's not.
is the destiny.
That's right, yeah.
Whether the ego does A or B or C or D is the destiny of that individual over which nobody has any control.
Right. The mechanics is the ego.
But the important
yes.
what distinction I make
Yeah.
is the egoic reaction is totally different from the biological reaction. Your eyes see something, ears hear something, nose smells something, tongue tastes something, fingers touch something. There is an immediate reaction, which is a feeling. Anger or irritation or fear or compassion, that is a biological reaction depending on your genes and your conditioning, over which the ego has no control. Therefore my point is, it is not correct to say that this happened and I was angry, or I was afraid, or I felt like doing this, I felt like crying, or I felt like doing something. A typical example I always give, is if 4 foreigners come into Bombay and go around seeing Bombay, and the car stops at a traffic signal, 9 times out of 10 what is going to happen is 3 or 4 beggar boys will come around, surround the taxi, put their hand in begging for money. 4 different people, 4 different reactions can happen. In one, anger may arise. In other, irritation may arise. In the third one, a young lady may feel afraid. This is the early evening. If it just happened to be later in the evening and instead of 3 or 4, 30 or 40 people came, fear may arise. Or in a fourth one, maybe Husser from Sweden. So Husser may say, in my country, these boys would have been receiving free education in a school. Here in this wretched country, they have to beg for money. Compassion could arise. Anger, fear, compassion. The ego is not concerned. That is a biological reaction. Therefore, what I am saying is, to say someone is angry, someone is afraid, someone is kind, someone is not right. Is not accurate. The anger in one body mind organism, irritation in another, fear in the third, compassion in the fourth. Then what happens is the ego gets involved in the biological reaction. What the understanding does is to understand this, that I am not angry, anger has arisen. But when the understanding is not there, the ego gets involved in the biological reaction. The ego gets involved in the biological reaction as his own reaction and says, I was angry, I was afraid, I shouldn't get afraid, or I am a compassionate man. Pride or guilt?
The way I understand your teaching is, to me, acceptance is really a key word. Is that correct?
Acceptance of everything that happens
Yes.
as something which is precisely what is supposed to happen according to God's will, cosmic law.
Into the
No one does
smallest detail.
the minutest thing, exactly what it is supposed to happen. No one does anything. That is total understanding, acceptance of everything, not as anybody is doing, but as a happening strictly according to God's will, cosmic law. Okay? Any question?